Hi, it's me, LitB, and welcome to a video that's gonna piss a lot of people off, I'm sure. Anyway, Silent Hill, one of my favorite horror actually might be my #1 favorite horror franchise, and I decided that I'm gonna make a lot of people angry and rank them. So there is really no criteria here. This is just all personal thoughts and personal, like, not really biases, but it's just my opinion, more or less. Like, it's just which ones are my favorite. There's no actual criteria whatsoever. It's just ranking them based on how I feel about them. So obviously I'm gonna start with Silent Hill 1 because I'm just gonna go in order. I'm just gonna make one of these. Okay. Also, I am drinking. I got some Mountain Dew Code Red, but it's like hard Code Red. Silent Hill 1 I'm gonna put at a solid A. I know I know there's gonna be some people who are like, what? A? That belongs in S tier. But let me explain myself real quick. As much as I liked the first game, the story is kind of convoluted and doesn't really make much sense given the whole cult thing. I mean, I understand that everything in the town, like the monsters and the way the town looks, the other world and stuff, is all like manifestations of Alessa's like trauma and stuff, which is fine. I think that's cool and all, but like you would never pick that up or I guess really think about it your first time playing through the game. I've played through the game a couple of times already. I'm just like, yeah, it's a great first game in the franchise, but it's not an S tier for me personally. Because I could think of a couple of games on this tier list I could actually put above the first game. But the first game is pretty damn solid. Like, it is a goated first entry, no doubt about that. I'm going to actually group these two together, the remake and the original. But if I'm going to be honest with you guys, I'm going to put Silent Hill 2, the OG. This is going to have people up in arms, but I'm going to put it here in A. And the reason why I'm putting it in A and not S is because I actually enjoyed the remake more than the original. I'm going to be totally real with you because objectively speaking, I'm just going to actually move this here. Objectively speaking, Silent Hill 2 Remake is obviously better in terms of gameplay and quality. It's the same story but retold slightly differently, but I actually think the way they went about it is, I don't know, it's just better in my opinion. And I've grown up with the original Silent Hill 2. I've grown up with pretty much all of these games, honestly, but it's just, I think Silent Hill 2 is objectively better as the remake than it is the original, especially because, like, I know a lot of people are like, oh, the tank controls, the tank controls made it so much scarier and stuff, and I don't know, Silent Hill 2, the original one, was just kind of too bright, too easy, and man, those tank controls, I'm glad, me personally, I'm glad that they strayed away from the tank controls. I know that's controversial, but I don't know, man. Does anybody actually like tank controls? Like, when I played the game, I never found it to make things scarier. I just got more frustrated at the amount of times I'd walk into a wall. I don't really get a feel of where I'm going. And also, in the remake, like, I just think the characters are played better. And I know people are like, oh, it's more woke now. I'm just like, seriously, guys, like, it is not even that much different. The story is exactly the same. It's just slightly altered to make more sense for the character's age and whatnot. Like, Angela, she looks way more like her age than she used to. And Maria, I don't even think that old design of her looked even remotely good. She looked like an old lady. Look at the fucking jawline. My opinion's super controversial, I know, but frankly, I don't care. Silent Hill 3, for me personally, S tier. I love Silent Hill 3. I love the looks of it. I like how bombarded you get by the monsters. The tank controls, they feel much more, I guess, fluent over the other two. I definitely enjoy the main protagonist more than the other two as well. Not that James wasn't a good protagonist, but he also just wasn't like really, what's the word? His backstory and the reason why he's there and stuff is interesting, but I'm saying like in the actual gameplay itself, unless you're in like a cutscene, he's not all too interesting. Even in the remake, like, I know that's the point, but yeah, I just like Heather more. Like, this is just a bias. I just like Heather more than James. And I like Heather more than Harry. Silent Hill 4. You guys are gonna really hate me for this one, but I'm gonna put it here. You may be wondering, what the hell? Why would you put Silent Hill 4 The Room in B tier? And the reason for that is because, I'm going to be real with you, it has the same problem Silent Hill 1 and 3 have, where it's about the cult. But this is just a personal bias. I didn't really care for the serial killer plot. I thought that was kind of dumb. I don't know, Henry didn't even really feel like the main character because every other character had way more personality than he did. And Henry, frankly, is just super underwhelming as a character. I don't really know how to explain myself here. I just like it less than the other ones. That's all you really need to know. Like, I don't really need to explain myself here. It's not like I'm gonna get fucking crucified if I see somebody on the street. My opinion here, I think every game that's above Silent Hill 4 is better. Not saying that Silent Hill 4 is a bad game. It's definitely a great game. But compared to the ones above it, I just don't like it as much. Silent Hill Origins, I wouldn't put as an F, but man, do I even really need to explain this one? I mean, you have like an infinite arsenal of weapons for absolutely no reason. You just picked them up off the side, off the side of the road. You just kind of picked them up from all over the place. I don't like the story because they literally just rehashed the first Silent Hill, like, I don't know. I just don't like Origins. I thought it was pretty stupid. And also Travis, like, I think he's a somewhat interesting character, but yeah, I just don't care for it, honestly. I just don't like Origins. I'll be real with you. I just don't like this game. Homecoming, it's tough because, I gotta save F for the worst of the worst. I would put Homecoming above Origins just because it's more original than the previous. Because this game just kind of rehashes Silent Hill 1. At least with Homecoming, the story is a lot more original. And yeah, everybody knows the problems of Homecoming. The combat is terrible. The bugs on PC especially are horrible. The amount of game crashes, how goofy the characters are. I think Alex's story was a fine premise, but I think how they executed it was pretty poor, if I'm honest. It's bad. Like, the story of the game isn't, like, the worst thing ever. If it was just the story that was the problem and all the gameplay was fine, I would have moved it up to here. But given the, how poorly executed the story was and how terrible the combat controls are and how terrible, like, the bugs and stuff are, I have to keep down here, I'm sorry. Which is weird, because out of all the Silent Hill games, I've played Silent Hill Homecoming the most because, well, it's on Steam, and it's been on Steam way longer before this game. Silent Hill Shattered Memories, for me, personally, you guys might not like this, but I'm putting this at an F. I know what you're thinking, right? What the hell? This game's puzzles and psychological horror is friggin' amazing. How dare you? I'm just like, yeah, but there's no monsters in the town. There's nothing but chase sequences. The other world doesn't look like the other world. All they did was copy and paste the first game story, but reversed it. I just don't like Silent Hill Shattered Memories. I think honestly, it's the worst Silent Hill game. And that's a bold statement. But for me personally, who the hell asked for a casual Silent Hill? Who asked for that? Even, like, you could say, oh, it's made for the Wii, it's supposed to be casual. I'm just like, okay, but Resident Evil was also on there, wasn't it? They even had Resident Evil 4 on there. So there's absolutely no excuse as to why Shattered Memories had to be so casual. I mean, I guess it was to, like, appease, like, the casual market for the Wii. But nobody in their right mind would have wanted a Silent Hill casual game. Who the hell wanted that? Silent Hill Downpour is actually one of my favorite games. Yes, I'm going to put it down here for now. But I need to figure out where I'd actually objectively put Silent Hill Downpour. I know that sounds strange because a lot of you would either have it here or here, or maybe even here. But I would keep it higher than that. I'd put it at a B, an A. If it had good monsters and stuff, I'd even put it in an S. But I'm going to keep it down here. I'm going to move it above Silent Hill for the room just because I like the protagonist and the story more. But yeah, Downpour is definitely one of my favorite Silent Hill games because I love the exploration, the side quests. The story, I think, is pretty damn good for a non-Team Silent game. And I think as far as the game mechanics go, I definitely think it's better than all these three down here. Hell, I'd even say the mechanics of the game are even better than 4 because 4, for some reason, decided to keep the fixed camera angles in some spots, but they didn't have tank controls, and it made it really sloppy to control. I mean, this game did the same thing, but only in, like, certain rooms. Yeah, I'd rather deal with the controls here. And also, Murphy, as a protagonist, I think is way more interesting than Henry. I'm sorry, but Henry is... If I was ranking Silent Hill protagonists, Henry would go all the way down here. I think Henry is the least interesting protagonist of any of these games. Yeah, I think Downpour actually is a solid game. The only thing I think it fumbled on is the performance, especially when it first came out. Actually, that's where most of the hate comes from. Nobody gave this game a chance once it was patched, and I really wish people would give this game a second chance, because this game, honestly, is pretty dope. I just, obviously the monster design, they're bad. They're just people for the most part. I can think of at least 2 of them that have any sort of symbolism, and that would be the Screamers and the prisoners. I definitely know the Screamers represent Murphy's wife, and obviously the prisoners, well, they're prisoners. Yeah, I think Murphy's story is definitely, like, if I was ranking them on story alone, I would put this up an A or S, but yeah, taking the gameplay and the monsters into account, this is a B for me. I do love Downpour, though. Downpour is a very underrated Silent Hill game. I've never played. I don't have a PS5. I've never played A Short Message. I've played all these on the PS3 or like in PS2 or whatever, or even emulated it. I've never played this game. I never had a PS5, so I stopped playing PlayStation back in PS4. Silent Hill F, honestly, I'm gonna have to give Silent Hill F like slightly, I don't know, because if I'm ranking it by story, I would put it here. Like if I'm doing story, I would put it here. If I was doing like scariness and like I guess the overall Silent Hill feel or whatever, I'd put it there. But I think for story alone, it's got to go here. Because again, as much as I love the first Silent Hill and the third one, and I like Silent Hill 4 and Homecoming a little bit, I just really don't give a crap about the goddamn cult story. I'm going to be real with you. There's no objectivity there. There's no like objective reason as to why I don't like it. I just don't care for the cult, honestly. I like Silent Hill better when it's exploring, the traumas and stuff of certain characters. And that's not to say that the cult story isn't good, because if they made another Silent Hill game that has the cult story, I'd still play it. I'd still probably enjoy it. Hell, I enjoy every single one of these games to some extent, except for this one and this one. You know what? I'm going to move Silent Hill Homecoming up a little bit, just because I actually, like, for me, Silent Hill Homecoming is fun bad. It's the kind of bad where, yeah, it's a horrible game, but you can make fun of it, and it's really goofy to play, because you can just be like, Alex, what are you doing? That kind of thing. Homecoming's a pile of dog shit, but it's fun bad. It's like watching a bad movie, but like, if you watch it with friends or something, then you could just sit there and make fun of it. It's that kind of thing. Origins is just, I just don't like Origins. Silent Hill F, though, it's got a pretty damn strong story. Anybody who's like, oh, it doesn't feel like Silent Hill, or like, oh, it's feminism, the game. First of all, you don't know the singlest fucking clue about Japanese culture, and neither do I, let's be real. And also, I don't even consider this like a mainstay, like, in the franchise. I kind of think of this as like an offshoot, like a spin-off, but it's still pretty damn good. Like, I don't know, Silent Hill F to me is definitely the greatest Silent Hill game post Team Silent, I'd say. That's tough though, because I do really like the story of Silent Hill Downpour, but this game's mechanics and its monsters especially, way better than Downpour. So, and I think, everybody compares it to like Dark Souls and they complain about the combat and all that, but I'm just like, Homecoming, Origins, hello? These 2 games exist. Like, how can you say this game's combat's like the worst in the franchise, but then have this? Even this, like, how, I don't get it. As for the feminism thing, I'm just like, I don't really think that's the case at all. I know some bits of the story, and I guess what I'm saying here is I don't really believe that was the purpose of this game, because it's not. That is not the purpose of this game. This is not feminism, the game. If we're just going off the assumption that Silent Hill F was about feminism and being a feminist and whatever these fucking idiots are saying about it, that'd be like if I went to Silent Hill 2 and called James a misogynistic serial killer. Like, if you really think about it, like, it's really not that black and white. I think people are just really dumb, honestly. Do I even need to put this? Ascension was... I was so excited for Ascension when I saw it coming out, because I was like, holy crap, a new Silent Hill game after all these years. It turned out not even be a game. It was a web series. And it was terrible. The story was awful. Who decided that making a Silent Hill show, more or less, was a good idea? Because it wasn't. It was atrocious. PT, I'm going to have to put in C, Not because it's bad, because it is actually really good. But the problem with PT is simply just the fact that it's an unfinished game. It's just a teaser, and it's only like an hour, like at max an hour long. Like this game is terribly short. It didn't really feel like a Silent Hill game though. Like it was a great horror game. This is the only one where I'll agree with people that it's not a Silent Hill game, because you know people are like, oh, this isn't a Silent Hill game, but I'm just like, it is a Silent Hill game. But this game, there's no fog. There's no trauma. I mean, there is, but, you know, you barely get into it. There's jump scares, which has definitely not been a thing in the games. I mean, there's been subtle ones, like with the woman in the bathroom kind of thing, but there hasn't been, like, actual jumps. This game has plenty of actual jump scares in it. So I just cannot really rank it any higher than C, because it's too short, doesn't feel like a Silent Hill game, whatever. I know people say that a lot. It's like, oh, everything past the fourth game doesn't feel like a Silent Hill game. I'm just like, bro, if you don't like any games past Silent Hill 4, you're not a Silent Hill fan, you're a Team Silent fan. And that's what I'll stand by for the end of time. Downpour's great. Silent Hill F is great. That's about it, though, if I'm honest. I really don't think the games have to be identical to each other. Silent Hill 2 honestly doomed the franchise from the start. They cooked too hard. But if you're able to get past Silent Hill 2, if you're able to get that nostalgia boner out of here and just play the games for what they are, there's a lot more good in these games than there are bad, honestly. Like, I don't like that people are like holding Silent Hill 2 to such a high pedestal and making it so that every other Silent Hill game that comes after it has to live up to such a high standard. Like, even if you were to be like, oh, you know, that doesn't sound like or doesn't feel like a Silent Hill game because the gameplay's different, it doesn't look the same and whatever. I'm just like, bro, Silent Hill 2 is the only game in the original 4 that have its own storyline. So how is Silent Hill 2 the one that's different from the first and the third game, and even the fourth game? How is the one that strays away the most popular one? If you guys are gonna say, oh, it doesn't feel like a Silent Hill game, then what the hell is the deal with this game? Because 3, 4, 1 all follow pretty much the same storyline as far as the cult goes, and this one doesn't. So how does Silent Hill 2 feel like a Silent Hill game compared to these three? That's the thing I've never understood. I like Silent Hill 2, don't get me wrong, but I'm saying as far as, like, you know, not feeling like a Silent Hill game, has Silent Hill ever had a feeling? Like, the only thing I know that needs to be in a Silent Hill game to be a Silent Hill game is survival horror, fog, and monsters. That is it. That is pretty much the standard for Silent Hill. Like, obviously the trauma stories are better than the cult stories, but it doesn't need to be a trauma story to be a Silent Hill game. Not to me anyway. So this is my final ranking. I have never played any of these. I'm not even going to count them because these aren't even like main games. I'm actually just going to move this down here as well. This is my official tier list. I like every single one of these games except for these ones down here. Even Homecoming has its ups. Like, I don't hate Homecoming. I also don't like it either. It's just mid. Yeah, let's go with that. Again, fun bad. I should move PT above it, though. Yeah, there you go. I hope I pissed all of you off. I hate Silent Hill fans. They're so goddamn toxic. All right, bye-bye.